So she's taking the healing potion now. And there's this swinging rope above us where we probably want to climb. In this game, you cannot climb anything if you have a weapon in hand, which is actually a logical thing, so I have to put the weapon away. And then I'll try to jump on this rope. And yeah, I'm hanging on it, so I can climb upward. And as soon as you hear this dripping sound, you know that you are one story more up. So I can like jump to the left off of the road, so I'm off of the rope, so I'm again at the next story. Then here I can walk again or whatever. So if you hear this sound, you know that you're almost falling off something, so you need to jump again. We need to jump across something. And again. So actually there is something else which tries to attack us, and for explaining so long I actually have no light anymore because the torch is off. So I guess for an impression that's really enough. Oh, yeah, all right. So yeah, this is like two-dimensional and pretty easy actually, I think. I mean, it has more or less the same playing fun as these side-scrollers in normal graphics mode, because I mean it's simpler. So there is not this three-dimensionality involved like in these first-person shooters or whatever. But just to finalize this all, to show you that there are really more complicated audio games as well, is a game which actually exists pretty long already. Like I think it's around since 2001 or something. It's called Shades of Doom, and you can imagine what he is cloning. I mean, this is a Doom clone pure in audio. So it's a first-person shooter. You have this three-dimensionality. Unfortunately, it's just for Windows, and it doesn't even work in Wine, and there is only an English version and whatnot. But I still spent like days playing this thing. The idea, I should probably explain how this is then actually done. I mean, the idea of this game is you need some additional cues to be able to navigate around in a three-dimensional space. So what they actually did is pretty logically. They added cues which are normally used by blind people when they navigate in real world as well. So what this game actually has is echo, footstep echo and stuff like this. So if you like go in a corridor and there is a corridor to your left suddenly, you will hear the echo of your footsteps to the left. So this is actually how you navigate in real world as well. So what I'm also trying to get at with this thing is that it's actually, I mean, this is really just the same as these graphical first-person shooters or whatever, just with some little audio cues added which are more or less special for blind people. So what I'd like to see in the future is really that mainstream games like this or whatever could get some blindness or visually impaired mode, where you can just select I'm a visually impaired player, and where you would get these additional audio cues, but you could like play the absolutely same game as everyone else. Right now we have this situation that there are these special games for blind people, written by blind people and whatnot, and it's kind of an exclusion thing, because you can no longer talk with other sighted people about the game you're playing, because nobody cares about this audio-only stuff. Yeah? So what would be really great is to integrate these very small tricks actually into normal games. Yeah, that would be a great thing to have. So maybe we can launch this one. So again, he really likes dramatics, so this game sounds really nice. But I'll stop this introduction.
Welcome to Shades of Doom, a DMA game. Version 1.2. Select from menu, play game.
So there is this self-voicing menu again, where we can use the cursor keys to select items, and it will just tell us what item is currently selected. There's even this listen to story, but I guess that's kind of boring now. So we'll just start the game. So there's this experience level thing where I can say like, I'll just select it's my turn, Daddy, because I don't want to get killed too fast. And no, we'll not choose training mode. So now we are in level 1, and we hear all sorts of things. First of all, I'll turn up this night scope because it's so noisy, which is actually like for aiming at things. So while the sound is like this, you have nothing in aim, and if the sound changes, you know that your weapon is actually aiming at some monster or something like this. So just, I mean, I'm not going to play this really because there's no point in it. But I'm just going to give you a small impression how it sounds. Because I'm now walking forward. And there is this alarm thing because, you know, in all these Doom games, something terribly went wrong in some experiment or whatever. And there's a door which I just walk by. There's another door. And I'm just trying to show you this footstep thing because now you hear no echo. So I'm in a normal corridor. And you will soon hear an echo of the footsteps, which actually indicates that you can now go to the left. So this is this echo. I'm turning to the left. And just walking along the corridor again. And there's again this echo. So I know that there's another thing to the left. So I turn to the east and can like go again. And of course, I mean, this is like Doom, so it's pretty brutal actually. You have these weapons and everything like. And you can, of course, I mean, you can shoot at things and whatever. So it's really just a Doom game for, a Doom clone for audio. But what I'm trying to get at is that they didn't really add a lot of audio cues. I even used to play at least small scenes of the original Doom 1 game with headphones because already the Doom game had this correct 3D audio. So you could hear the monsters yelling at you from the direction where they really were. So if you then turned, then you could like center them in the middle of the stereo field, and then you actually aimed at them. So again, it's not really much that is necessary to make like games which already have a nice audio playable for blind people. It just takes a little bit of thinking about it and maybe asking them what cues they could need or use or whatever. And I'm really what I really hope with this talk is to maybe inspire some coders in the free software area to do exactly like this. I mean, we already have free software games. Some of them might be quite nice. I actually don't know them because I cannot play them. But the idea, in my opinion, would be, I mean, this is free software, so why shouldn't we just add to the normal games for sighted people some small support for blindness playing or whatever? So that's actually an accessibility feature, you know. And this is actually the sound you're hearing. This is this crazy doctor, which really goes on my nerve, because he's trying to steal stuff from you. And that's why he's so making really strange sounds. So yeah, I guess that's more or less it. Are there any questions? No?
Which game do you like most?
Well, I don't know. It really depends. I mean, I like Sound RTS really much because it makes it possible for me to play cross-platform. I have of course, blind friends in Austria, which are still, or most of them are still on Windows. And I remember having some real fun playing multi-user mode against a friend of mine who is from Vienna. And we were like, he's on Windows, I'm on Linux, and we were both using the same program. And that was actually real fun because it works cross-platform. And yeah, well, I guess I really like this Thumb Panda thing, which I just discovered like a week ago. I didn't know about it, and I'm almost like hooked right now. So yeah, probably because I've never played a side scroller. You know, the thing is, these are games which are very normal and known to guys like you. But if you are dependent on something like a special implementation for your, then you usually don't even know these type of games. So it's the first time that I played a side scroller, and I really like the idea.
What about discriminating in terms of stereo sound of characters that would be in front of you with respect to characters that would be just behind you?
Yeah, yeah.
You have a side effect, but would there be some added value to engage for a high profile environment and not only for stereo headphones?
Yeah, I guess it would be interesting. The problem is just that usually, I mean, usually people just have stereo speakers or headphones or whatever. So to be practical, it should actually work with things as simple as this as well. But yeah, I mean, there is this ambisonic, and there are all sorts of ways how one could actually implement 3D sound as well. So if it's an optional mode, it's definitely a good idea. But I think one should actually aim to support the standard stereo setup because that's what people have. Yeah, it does. So it's probably also a question of finding a nice library. Or even implementing a nice library which supports this. I mean, we have OpenAL on Linux. I've recently started to look at it from a programmer perspective and done my small experiments, and it seems to be a good candidate for a basis for writing these games. But I'm not quite sure yet regarding hardware support. So if you have like different setups. So there should be a bit of experimentation. But I think OpenAL is at least a very good way to start.